What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and today we're going to review Hobbs and Shaw. Okay, let's do a quick intro. Hobbs and Shaw have to team up to take on a cyber-genetically enhanced villain who's threatening the future of all humanity. Okay, enough of that, let's get right into the good.
The good.
As expected, Hobbs and Shaw delivers a plethora of high-octane action from beginning to end. I think a lot of credit needs to go to the stuntmen and women who put in some solid work to make many of those stunt scenes possible. I thought the chase scenes were rather enjoyable and had some nice moments of gripping suspense. Much of that came from some solid cinematography and visual effects. I think you see the visual effects at their best whenever we get to see some of the futuristic technology. The tech advanced motorcycle that Idris Elba's character uses in the movie is just really intriguing to see in action. One thing is for sure, Hobbs and Shaw doesn't hold back from taking each action sequence to an even higher level by the end of the film. Another highlight in Hobbs and Shaw that you can look forward to is the comedy. The movie doesn't waste any time in providing rather humorous scenes. Without getting into spoiler territory, the funniest scenes will come at unexpected moments in the film. There are a ton of surprises and each one is better than the next. While this movie doesn't rely on slapstick or goofy humor, most of the laughs will come from the character dialogue. A definite plus for this film is how the actors were able to play into their respective strengths. Everyone is able to play a role or a character that perfectly suits that specific actor. Dwayne The Rock Johnson comfortably plays to his large physique and uses that as a fun anchor for many of the jokes and action scenes. Jason Statham channels his English version of Jackie Chan by excelling in his one versus the many type of fight scenes where he gets to demonstrate just how resourceful he is within any given environment. As advertised, both Statham and Johnson play off their characters feuding based off of the previous Fast and Furious movies. Their chemistry is undeniable and they absolutely are one of the best elements of this movie. Now, besides those two headliners, I also thought that Vanessa Kirby had a very solid performance too. Her character brought in an interesting sense of nuance that didn't allow for the movie to get too one-dimensional. Also, Idris Elba's performance as the primary villain works very well too. He was convincing as a legitimate threat for the main characters, and given his advanced technology, he made the story a little bit more intriguing. Okay, enough of that, let's get right into the bad.
The bad.
While the stunts and the action scenes are really amazing in this movie, they go way beyond belief. Some of the major action scenes go above and beyond to the point where you might actually find yourself doing a couple eye rolls to what you're seeing on screen. It's a bit disappointing because many of those scenes were good enough before they started pushing to these ridiculous limits. I mean, there's literally no way any of the characters in this movie should still be alive. I mean, I'm talking about like characters could do something like fall out of an airplane, hypothetically, and walk away with just a scratch on their cheek. Given the lack of some practicality, this movie just begs for you not to think at all. Things work a little too perfectly, and because of that, some of the suspense factor is negated because you rarely will think that the characters are going to be in real danger. Worst of all, some of the fight choreography looked a little bit too staged, all for the sake of comedy. Speaking of the comedy in this movie, it's pretty inconsistent. The dialogue can be funny at times, but it gets a little bit tiring the longer it goes on. The back and forth jokes will be hit or miss, and you might find yourself only chuckling every other couple of jokes at best. It probably would have been better had like the banter in the movie been shortened in half, because it was more effective in short bursts rather than the dedicated roast sessions that the movie tried to commit to. Although the action is the main draw for this movie, it equally tries to be just as funny. Since the writing doesn't elevate the comedy that much, I really think it would have been better had there just been more focus put on the action instead. Alright, enough of that, let's get right to the reason.
The reason.
Hobbs and Shaw is your typical popcorn flick with loads of action, a couple of laughs, and no thinking required at all. The more thought you put into this film, the more frustrations you might end up having with it. So it's definitely best to just sit back and enjoy the ride. You can easily think of this movie as being like a combination of other action films like Fast and the Furious, Mission Impossible, or even The Transporter. If you enjoyed any of those films, then Hobbs and Shaw is definitely right up your alley. So when it comes to the rating for Hobbs and Shaw, I've got to give it a 7 out of 10. Despite any minor flaws this movie might have, you still end up having a good time watching it. Also, there are multiple post-credit scenes, including the one all the way at the very end of the credits. Those extra scenes are mainly comedy though, and they look like the scenes that probably should have been saved for the Blu-ray deleted scene section. Either way, go see Hobbs and Shaw in theaters and have fun. So you let me know, have you seen Hobbs and Shaw already? What were your favorite moments in the movie? Or were there some moments where you were also kind of eye-rolling a little bit when things got a little too crazy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I always appreciate it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.